everybody. I'm your host, Jaime Soretta. On this podcast, we celebrate everything local. And if you like coffee and you like country music, you're going to like what this guy is doing right here in the Valley. He is Dapper and Stout and Horse and Hyde. May I welcome Aaron Lopo to my podcast. Thank you, Aaron, for coming.
You're welcome. Hi.
It's great to see you again. And we go way back because I think we first found you. Our photographer, Victor. We have to give Victor a shout out because he found you over in a Glendale location for your coffee shop.
Yes, we love Victor.
Yes,
we do. I was just open a few weeks, I think, and he must have found a coffee shop, my first coffee shop about 8 years ago now.
Wow.
8 years, and I remember it was bright and early in the morning, about 6:30 a.m., and the news van pulled up, and I was like, what is going on here?
I hope it's good news.
And you jumped out, and Victor, and you got coffees and a turkey and Havarti sandwich. And I remember everything, and we've been friends ever since.
Friends ever since.
Yes.
I came back for a local love segment.
Yep.
And wow, you talked about 8 years ago. That was one location on Glendale Avenue.
Yep.
In Glendale and what?
And 64th Avenue, and it's still there, still doing well.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And the turkey and Havarti,
Still
I highly
on
recommend.
The menu. Still on the menu.
Good.
Yeah.
And then if folks are downtown, they may say, Dapper and Stout, I know one downtown. Where's that location?
3rd Street in Washington.
Okay.
Yep.
And how old is that now?
That one is about 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, going on 6.
Okay, and that's not all. I said country music.
Yes.
You're wearing the Horse and Hyde hat. Tell me about what is Horse and Hyde?
Horse and Hyde is a upscale Nashville country music bar. We do country music every night of the week that we're open.
Live country
music. And it gives a platform to these singers trying to do something with their careers. And I love giving that platform.
Yeah.
We have great smoked meats now. We have a commissary smoking meat. And so we have brisket, pork, smoked chicken dishes. And we're about to open a second one. It's been about 18 months since the first one's open.
The first one located where?
It is 38th Street and Indian School in Arcadia.
And it sits next to another local love of mine, which is My Slice of the Pie.
Yes.
So it sits next to that pizza place and Crumble too. So you have lots of options right there.
All kinds of options.
Both the donuts. And now this new location, which is going to be opening right around Labor Day.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Tell me where this one is.
This one is Uptown Plaza, Camelback and Central, one of the most iconic shopping plazas in the state, 85 years old, actually.
How cool is that?
It's awesome.
So you've been building this out.
Yes.
Because you had your coffee shop, Dapper and Stout, in there for how long?
I did. I had it for about 3 years there, and that was a coffee shop. It was expanded on my smaller ones that are just coffee and sandwiches and breakfast. And this had cocktails as well. I decided the space is better after the country Horse and Hyde is working to do this at Uptown Plaza. I feel like it fits the neighborhood perfectly.
I love the live country music, and you threw a festival, a 3-day festival, not long ago. And we have to say, your original location, is it how long? Is it a year old? Is it
18 months?
It's 18 months.
So it's like having 2 kids.
Yeah, little babies.
Little babies now.
Amongst the others as well.
Yes.
So your 3-day country music festival, I invited some of my friends.
I remember.
And it was like clockwork. The way you had your talent coming in and out. I mean, 1 o'clock, they were hitting the stage. You could see around 1:45, the next one's loading in. 2 o'clock, that guy or girl's on stage. I was, being someone who lives on deadlines, I was so impressed with how the timing. I was like, I could just take a deep breath and relax.
Thank you so much. It was for a 1-year anniversary. And the best part, most of all those artists all volunteered their time to come play, and they were so grateful for us having a platform for them, and they all just did 45-minute sets to thank the neighborhood and thank us for being there. And it was 3 days nonstop music from open to close.
You won a design award.
I got nominated.
Oh, nominated. Okay.
Yes,
all right. Well, I'm sorry for that. Next time.
Restaurant Bar Design Awards. But yes, but it's a global competition, and that's for Horse and Hyde.
Oh, wow. And let's talk about the design because I have not seen your new location yet, but the first location you were so impressed with. It is a beautiful space.
Yes.
What was there before?
It was a whining pig location.
Oh, yeah.
It was, So just gutted it and started over and did what my vision of a country bar would be. And it's very, like I said, it's all country. It's candles, it's copper, it's beautiful bar tops, and a beautiful longhorn with a mirror mosaic on it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It is high-end country.
Yes, it is
I mean,
high-end
it's
country.
definitely beautiful. It's not like sawdust on the ground in there.
No.
It's you're drinking a nice martini.
Yes.
And you mentioned the turkey and Havarti sandwich. There's a turkey and brie?
Yeah, we have a turkey and
that's good
brie
too.
quesadilla. Yeah, and it's delicious with a raspberry chipotle sauce. So it's good.
So you were doing the food and the beverage and the live music. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
It's a lot. I gave myself a whole nother job by booking talent as well.
Oh my gosh.
And now, if you think about it, I got to do 12 acts a week with 2 locations. And when we do the third, I will probably hire somebody for that.
When we do a third.
When we do a third.
Is that coming soon?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, who knows?
But
Who
it's
knows?
been very successful.
Yes.
It's been very successful. And that's a lot of work to have to book all
Yes.
those people. So
It is.
So to someone who might be listening says, I'm an upcoming country
Yes.
singer. What do we do?
My favorite thing to tell people is don't send me your YouTube links or anything about your music. Come on an open mic night. So it's Wednesday nights in Arcadia, and it is Sundays in Uptown. So if you can make it to one of them, I'm there. I'll listen, and I'll see if we can book you, get you on a Friday, Saturday, and start hopefully making some extra money to play music.
How cool is that? I mean, what a beautiful, open-armed way. What if they're really bad, Aaron? What happens then?
Kind of honest.
Oh,
I have. There's been some people that don't like what I've had to say, but
it's a
it is
wrap
what
up.
it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is what it is, and it's your place,
Yes.
and incredible talent for
Yes,
sure.
we do.
That I've seen there. So let's go back to the beginning because you're not from Arizona. Where you from? Where'd you grow up?
I'm from Philadelphia. Grew up in Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
Parents had food trucks when they weren't glamorous like they are now.
Oh, yeah,
they
that is
seem
true.
glamorous, which there's still a lot of work,
Yeah.
but it was very much work. And as a kid, work ethic. As soon as I had a day off from school, I was up. If I was 12, I was up at 5 in the morning, getting on a food truck with my dad and helping. And I learned food that way, and how to be on time and work hard.
Yeah.
But yes, then they decided we're on the East Coast. We picked Florida or Arizona, moved to, and they picked Arizona, and we landed in Mesa. And then I've been all over the state since.
And so you came here, 17 years old?
Yes.
17. What did you think you would be doing?
I actually wanted to do nothing that my parents wanted to do.
Right.
Did. I actually wanted to do neonatal ER surgery.
Oh my goodness.
A far cry from that now.
So how did you end up here?
I got a job at the Mesa Hilton and went from banquet setup, first job, like a real job outside my family, to server, to banquet captain, assistant manager, real fast. And while I was going to go to U of A and go to school, I was making good money at that time. And good money for that time, and for, that it wouldn't have been worth it. So I just ended up taking some courses and pursuing hospitality. So
what was the first job outside of that? Was Dapper and Stout your first entrepreneurial venture?
Oh, that's probably, I kind of got into consulting and design and build from being around, I worked between here and LA and things like that, back and forth, but I've always loved the industry. And I think one of my passions is creating spaces and experiences for people. So I always thought I was going to draw or do something like that because I was very into art when I was a child. And I think there's art in design and food dishes and drinks and, all that, and logos and, so I get to use all my, my
natural talent.
Yeah. And in one. So it's fun. And then it's kind of rewarding when people are in there and they're taking pictures and they don't know that I did it. It's cool. It's just something that is I'm part of their life without me knowing it, or them knowing it in a way.
And it must be rewarding when people come there and they spend special moments in your spaces, or jump out of a news truck and that coffee,
right,
that coffee fuels you for the rest of the day, and you needed it, and you needed a good smile and a good sandwich. That is a big moment. So tell me about those rewarding experiences.
Yeah. So one of the most newest, very rewarding thing, and probably the biggest thing that's ever happened to me. I went to the Ozarks over 4th of July. And it was Wednesday to Friday, quick turnaround. And there was a band playing out there that's out there for a few months that played at Horse and Hyde Arcadia. Their name is the Pocket Aces. And, you know, they're super sweet, probably in low 20s, you know, somewhere around there, and just really talented. So the first time they played was April of this year, and then they played a few times since. I communicate with them. Now I'm coming. I'm going to go. And they're like, oh, awesome. We'd love to see you come out. And it's 4th of July, so their families are out there too. And so they're opening for Uncle Cracker.
Oh, my gosh, stop it.
And so I'm like, well, let's go. You know, it's 4th of July. What's more American than this, right? So I flew out there by myself, went down there. And the day of the concert, you know, they were there, and they did their show, and they stopped the concert, and there's 700-800 people there, and they go, there's somebody very special to us in the crowd. And you know, Mr. Aaron Lopo, he has the most beautiful country bar in Arizona, and you know, and it's one of our favorite places to play. And he doesn't know this, but the first week we played there, he handed us a note that said 1 more hour ? And we framed that note. And every time we play, we look at it, and then we go on stage. And not only did they frame the original one, they blew it up to put a big one above their door, so when they leave, they look at it on the way out.
Oh my gosh!
And his mom starts hugging me and crying.
I had a tear to my eye.
And it was the most rewarding thing. The crazy part is they've played there 2 or 3 times after that and never said a word to me. Never said a word to me. And now he just sent pictures. He's wearing, like, he was with some big country artists. And he's wearing a Horse and Hyde hat. It's his favorite place. And, you know, and they're inspired to be there and do what they love. And so I just want to, all the challenges, all the battles, that's the most rewarding thing, you know. Yeah. So...
1 more hour, ? And that's the most rewarding thing for them.
Yes.
They want us on stage longer. I'm not getting the hook.
Yes.
They want more.
And when they're here, you got to come see them.
Yeah, Pocket Aces.
The Pocket Aces.
Okay, we'll have to listen to them.
Yes.
And then you talked about, of course, they're wearing the Horse and Hyde hat.
Yeah.
You see the design. I mean, your hats are gorgeous.
I know. You may or may not own a couple.
I have a few. I proudly wear them as well.
Yes.
Why did you go with the double name, the Dapper and Stout, the Horse and Hyde? Is this kind of your thing? They're fun to say.
I think so. I mean, I remember I typed it out, and I send it to my little circle, my 2 best friends, you know, and like, what do you think? And you know, I like the double meanings. I think. So
tell me more.
Dapper, you know, you can be dressed dapper, and the ambiance, the decor is kind of upscale, and Dapper and Stout as well, right? And stout could be, you know, strong like a coffee, you know, or it could be a beer, you know. So, and then Horse and Hyde, you can horse around, or it's a horse. Oh. And Hyde with a Y, Hyde. It's, you know, it's the Jekyll and Hyde play. You can be a cowboy there. You can be whoever you want. You can have your double, you know, your double life, you know. So that's kind of, or it could be Hyde, like a, you know,
Horse Hyde.
Horse Hyde, yeah. So I just love, even like, you know, it says for the love of country in there, and, you know, that the double meaning too, for love of the country or country music. So I just love that kind of stuff.
Did you always love country music?
I did. I mean, grew up 90s country like everybody. You know, the Garth Brooks era was the most. I mean, out here in Arizona, you had Waylon Jennings and all that. Yeah. And I did. I like the stories. I love it more now. And, you know, there's just such great music out there. Yeah. And lyrics are just so great, you know. So.
Well, you think you have 1, 2 coffee shops, 1, 2 coming soon, like now.
Like now.
Bar rooms, you call them.
Yes.
And this all really in under a decade.
Yes,
so
I know.
How did that growth happen for you?
You know what, I talk about, and like I said, I have my 2 best friends, and by the way, are way more musically talented than I am. But now I'm more involved, and they're actually playing out at my places. But we talk about all being entrepreneurs and doing our thing, and every time you fail or fall or can't afford something or don't have any money anymore, it's like you realize that all those steps, you can't get to the next step without that happening. If I didn't have Dapper and Stout, and if the country, when I was ready to build the first Horse and Hyde, some of my partners, investor partners, were having espresso martini at Dapper and Stout Uptown, you know, and I was excited to tell them. I didn't go looking for money. I was telling them, you know, that I'm going to do a country bar.
Yeah.
And they said, we love what you do. Let us get involved.
Oh.
And then they went to work, and now they're great partners. And but every time, the first one wouldn't have happened without the second one, you know, the Dapper and Stout, because the downtown location, once you get to a bigger building or a bigger realtor group, they scout your first location and they want to know what it looks like.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to put a theoretical out there of what the ambiance or decor would look like without seeing it.
Yeah,
like I
just
couldn't
walk
ever
in.
explain Horse and Hyde. I knew what it would look like in my head, you know, but when until they see it, you know, even the guys, again, those investor partners, the first time they walked in, they're like, well, this isn't how we would have done it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, how funny.
But you know who loves it? All their wives.
Oh,
and it's true. I mean, it's true,
so
and it makes them even better because it's not, you know, a boys' bar, or you know, it's a husband wife. It's a great date place.
It's a grown up.
It's a grown up. It's a grown up
space.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for shenanigans.
No. No.
It's for a little country dancing.
Yes.
It's for a lovely beverage.
Yes.
And like you said,
good food.
live music, great food,
Yeah.
and live music
Yep.
all the time that you're booking yourself. I can't believe you do all that.
It's so much, and I do every day. I have to.
Oh my gosh.
All the Instagram messages, all the emails, all the booking. I mean, even like this Friday, there's a cancellation, and now I have to go out there, and there's going to be two more that come on, and that played there once before, and I have to go reaching out to everybody, but they're going to be great, you know, and I'm grateful for them, you know, to be able to play there. So
how do you handle the emotional stress of running all these businesses on your own and then booking too?
Am I allowed to say tequila?
Yeah, sure.
Tequila.
The good stuff, right?
Yes. Not lying.
Yeah. What kind do you drink?
Fortaleza is the most popular, but Tequila Ocho is probably my favorite.
What is that?
It's a tequila brand.
Yeah.
Tequila Ocho.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably my two favorites.
Yeah. And at Horse and Hyde, you have an immaculate
Selection.
Yeah, selection. You have a lot. Mm-hmm. Do you have, and I feel like whiskeys too?
Whiskeys, yeah. We have it's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a crazy amount of choices, but it's a good dozen to 14 of each, you know, whether it be vodka, gin, whiskey, tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of bourbons.
What was a challenge that's come up that you were surprised, where you didn't know which way to turn and had to overcome?
I think it's really the extra costs of operating that always, you know, and when you set it up and you have to find a way to pay for things on your own. I can't go back to somebody else or anything, and you know, it's really balancing the challenges. I'm trying to think of a very good example without getting too into it. But it's employee challenges, it's guest challenges, it's, you know, I've had run-ins with customers that just assume things, and you know, it is, like you said, it's the stress and of all the places.
Yeah.
It's learning that I think it's like every time you're a little upset, that's time wasted on being happy. So I try to just give myself a few minutes and then just go right back at it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And it must be a lot though to just kind of try to figure out getting good hires in each of those places who you can rely on to.
Yes. And right now I'm doing it myself. And I'm trying to get in for now because they're small spaces at AGM at both places, and that way that can handle the operations and I can handle the booking and the music and you know, the marketing and all that.
Gosh. So tell people where exactly your downtown location for Dapper and Stout is.
So Dapper and Stout is 3rd Street in Washington in the Collier Center,
And aren't you underneath the Italian restaurant? Are you close to the Italian restaurant?
What's it called? It starts with the name.
Mancuso's.
Mancuso's, yes.
Yes.
Mancuso's.
Okay, so if you know where Mancuso's is, and they've been in that location, I think, for a while. So then you know where Dapper and Stout is.
Yes.
And then you have a very, it must be a lot of the people who are walking because it's a walk up.
Yes, it is a walk up.
It's a very unique space.
Yes, it's small. It actually was a closet.
What? Stop it.
Before it's 800 square feet. And it was a storage closet for 18 years. It was never rented out. And I just took the space and did that with it. Yeah.
So they had offered it. Was it being cleaned up and leased out, or did you see it and say, I could do something on this corner?
I'm trying to remember how that happened. I did want something downtown, but I saw the space, and I think I inquired about it when I was walking to a basketball game.
Oh, see.
I did, and they're like, they kind of were like the closet.
You're like, how much? Yes, I'd like to lease that.
So
how much for the closet?
It does have a very good lease rate.
Oh my gosh, well, good.
To be downtown,
Congratulations.
Yeah, so it worked out. It worked out.
Well, you saw an opportunity. That's an entrepreneur
yes, 100%.
who sees something that, you talk about space and design, and you have a ton of people walking around that corner for
Convention centers, basketball games, baseball, apartments, everything.
And it's amazing how addicted we are to our coffee. I think I learned that during the pandemic on how everyone would just line up for the coffee. They needed it. And tell me about how you curate your different flavors.
I had help. I love espresso. And by the way, I do use for our espresso martinis and our cold brew, we use it at the country bars as well.
So you're using the Dapper and Stout
Yes, we
stuff.
are. Yes. So,
crossover.
It makes sense,
yes,
right?
Why would you not?
Sense.
Hello.
And, but I always felt like espresso was a little bitter, and I'm an Americano fan, so I just drink espresso with ice and splash water. And so, and I wanted something smooth. And so there's a great group of people from Passport Coffee and Tea in town. They're up at the airport park, and they helped me come up with a recipe. And so that was the first one. And then we worked on a light, medium, dark roast and decaf. So I have seven
of your own blends.
Yes.
Wow, that must have taken a lot. You must have been wired by the end of those testing days.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So you really detailed and dialed in the flavors of each of those to your liking. And then did you mentioned your two best friends?
Yes.
Your consulting board.
I do.
Did you bring them in too for this?
Always on everything.
Who are they?
So one has a company in town since he was young called Creative Metals, and he does all the custom homes and gates, all the gates, doors, windows. He does all the design for them and then builds them and installs them. But ever since I've known him, he's had a recording studio.
Oh, wow.
And his friend Chris, who's now my other best friend, he worked in LA for so long and he also draws and does design. He worked for Titan AE and those for Fox animation studios. He worked for.
Oh, wow.
He worked for Revolt TV doing music and production. He's toured with Eminem. He's done all kinds of stuff.
Wow, yeah.
So and now he's working on a new project, and we just are doing our things as business owners.
So how important is that to you to have a couple people you can trust?
100. It's so important, because you don't always. There's things that you don't want to go to your business partners about right away. You want to be set up and think about it and have a plan before you go right into it. So but just being able to vent, you need to vent to somebody and that understands, and everybody doesn't understand. And a lot of times you feel like people look at you as though you have all kinds of money and because you have these places and your life's great, and that's 90% untrue. It doesn't work.
How so?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money. It's fun, and I get rewarded by people being in there. There should be a payoff in the future, and things will come of it. But if I just meet somebody and they ask me how I'm doing, I'm going through, whether it's struggles with the business in some way. Yeah. They're not looking at you as though you're somebody that has struggles because they're sitting in your beautiful.
Yeah, they're sipping their espresso martini of your blend.
Look at you. Tell me more. Yeah. And
I get
and
it.
there's real battles in life, and you got to you got to have your one or two best friends, and just that knows the stories, and understands the battle.
The vault.
Yes.
What do you think people don't realize about the hard work that goes into owning so many businesses?
Time management, probably, and like this morning before this podcast, I was up at 5. What time did we start this? 11. I've been to Glendale downtown, the restaurant store, the country bar. We had a new ice machine installed to get swapped out, and then I had to get home, showered, and to you. So it's like, and most people are just starting their day at 11.
Yeah, that is a full day.
And then as soon as I get out of here, I have a full day.
What's next?
What's next is we're building completing the outside bar top at Uptown. And then I have to do the liquor order for that happens on Tuesdays. And so I have to do the liquor orders. And then back to Uptown, we have a painter putting For the Love of Country on the stage. And then back for the music at 6 to get her set up.
Gracious.
And then I have a tequila.
Well deserved by then.
So that's how I do it.
So you put some miles on your car. You have to have your
Oh.
trusty consulting board of your besties and a trusty vehicle too to get you around town.
Yes.
Let's talk about the new location because I'm super
let's not
psyched.
talk about my vehicle.
Let's talk about the new location because you're building that out.
Yes.
It sits. If you guys don't know, it sits right there at kind of the open way to Uptown Plaza. So it's right there on your left side. It's next to Illuminati's. You had a Dapper and Stout location there.
Yes.
What made you want to change it over to a Horse and Hyde?
I feel like it fits better with the neighborhood. I mean, there's a brunch place next door that we all love, and then there's another neighborhood restaurant going in there that does coffee in the morning, the Henry.
Oh.
The Henry.
AKA Sam Fox.
So I'm trying to stay ahead of it.
Yeah.
Trying to stay, it's a great restaurant, and I don't have that kind of power to compete with that. I'm a small entrepreneur. So I'm going to go with what works that nobody has and, try offering a great little restaurant in there.
And there will be patio space there, too.
There
so
is.
that's
It'll
nice.
have an open inside-outside garage door with patio space, and we'll even have a little buckaroo menu for the kids.
What? Oh, how cute.
Yes.
What's on the buckaroo menu?
It's coming.
May I order from it? I just have to on principle.
Right.
With a name like that.
I know. Cute,
and then
right?
you do have live music every single day.
Yes.
And so you're going to be able to support that at Uptown, too.
Yes.
How did that community, are they okay with the live music going in?
They are. They went hours. There's a historic neighborhood behind it. So basically, with all historic neighborhoods, there's I think they call it there's a plan.
Ordinance or something?
No, they want to keep the neighborhood what it is, and that's fine. And there's certain hours, so there's nights we can't stay open as late, but that's fine. I think the neighborhood doesn't need us to be open that late.
Right.
And there's just decibel levels that can't be heard at the homes.
Oh.
And I don't think there's a problem because a lot of people don't realize that this is another odd space. It's a great location. The storefront's beautiful, but there's a furniture store next to us and Illuminati's, as you said, on the other side. And we sit in it's like 2 L's going like backwards. So they have their back space behind me. So I don't have a back door. So that's their
So you're kind of protected.
So all the all the music just goes towards Camelback.
Central and Camelback.
Yeah.
So folks sitting in the light are going to be like,
they
lured in.
100%.
And you mentioned barbecue, doing some barbecue, so they'll
barbecue.
smell the barbecue, they'll hear the music, and all of a sudden they'll be making that left turn.
Yes, it's amazing. As soon as we started doing the commissary with our smoked meats, everybody walks in now. They smell so great in here, it's great. Like it's a good problem.
So who's making the meats? Who's doing this?
So just hired a chef. There's a place down the street that we're using as a commissary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
How exciting.
Yes, it's fun.
So you might get me off the turkey and brie sandwich.
Yeah, well,
for once.
The quesadilla. Yeah,
Yes,
turkey.
yes,
You're a
okay.
turkey fan.
I know. I can't help
You
it.
are.
So what are you loving in Arizona right now? What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you doing outside of work? I know there's probably minimal space there besides the tequila.
Yes.
What else are you enjoying about Arizona right now?
I go to all my places are, I do the Buck and Rider all the time. I'm more of a afternoon person because of,
You're
most
up at
nights,
5,
most
up and out.
nights I'm watching my own place,
Yeah.
but even there's a lot of new places at the Global Ambassador. It just opened. There's food and all of them. That's good, great. I always love the Pizzeria Bianco's. There's, Pane Branco,
Yeah.
I think we have some great sushi places. So it's fun. There's a lot of creative spaces out here.
Yeah, and when you mentioned design, I think that your spaces make us feel so happy.
Yeah.
And it is a delight when I walked into the location that you created over there on Indian School.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in and you're stunned what you did with the space.
Yes.
So I can't wait to see
I want you to see it.
the new one at Uptown Plaza with the patio, which is very convenient because I get off work at 4.
Oh, that's perfect.
And you start live music when?
Yes, the wine's on happy hour and then music's at 6.
Oh, there you go.
So-
It's perfect. Get a little bite to
Right?
eat and ready to
Yes.
welcome in the fresh talent.
Yes.
Well, congratulations on
Thank
all that
you.
you have done. Thank you so much for joining us on our podcast here, and we appreciate you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank
Horse and Hyde and Dapper and Stout. Aaron, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening to Jamie's Local Love, the podcast. I'm your host, Jamie Soretta. Our technician is Tom Heidinger. Our editors are Lorraine Shearing and Gina Coy. Do you know a business worthy of some local love? Email me at jsoretta@azfamily.com. Follow us at facebook.com/Soretta and Instagram @Soretta News. Make sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star review, please. And tell your friends about the podcast and the businesses we feature to show your local love. You can find us on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
Jamie's Local Love, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast.